sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Minnesota.
Here's the thing about success. It's about the urgency of now while waiting and hoping for what's next. Recently, we've seen the future, leveled in the line, clean and clear. It's here. Tonight, another puzzle piece for a successful future arrives to help the current success of the Twins.
This is what I'm living before I signed for $3.5 million. I love baseball. When I signed for Minnesota, I was so happy.
A 6-year odyssey to the big leagues has finally come true for Miguel Sano. He's in Kansas City, Missouri. He'll wear number 22 for the Minnesota Twins, and tonight he'll make his major league debut. One of the top prospects in baseball and one of the supreme power hitters in the minor leagues is up in the big leagues. He will bat sixth as the Twins' designated hitter in the series opener with the Kansas City Royals. And we're very excited to have you with us tonight at Kauffman Stadium. Dick Bramer and Bert Blyleven, and this is Miguel Sano's day, the day he's been waiting for a long time.
Well, again, he signed at 16. You don't know, imagine what this guy is dealing with here today, the nervousness. But what the Twins brought him up for one reason, and that's create some power at this level in spring training in the minor leagues. He showed that power. And over his career, 105 home runs. He has especially been hitting well as of late, and that's one reason I think the Twins say, hey, let's add some power into our lineup, which the Twins dearly need. Hopefully they can do that with Miguel Sano.
Take a look at what the 6-year journey looked like. Signed in 2009 as a 16-year-old. In 2013 season, very good numbers, 35 home runs in the minor leagues. But, of course, he sat out all of last year with Tommy John surgery, and in his last 23 at-bats at Double-A, hitting nearly 500 with some power. And before the game, he took a moment to sit down with Kevin Gord.
How excited are you for this moment?
The first part, what I say thank you, God, for the opportunity. I'm so really happy, with that big opportunity the team gave it to me, and I tried to hold for my whole career. I'm so really happy for the opportunity.
Miguel, you had the injury last year. This season got off to a slow start, but you've been building in that batter's box and building momentum in the right direction. That's why you got the call up. What's been working in the batter's box for you lately?
Last year, I got injury. I got hurt when I Tommy John surgery, but I tried, when I got hurt, I tried to work hard every day to take that back into me, and every day, every single minute when I work, I say, I need to be ready. I need to make it, try to help my team, try to my team win the game every day.
Already tonight, we've seen the debuts for Eddie Rosario, Byron Buxton, Alex Meyer, and tonight, the Major League debut of Miguel Sano.
He has learned how to apply the giftedness in the power category and put it into play during games that matter.
Every day, I try to, every time when I work, I try to do something positive for me.
awful strong young man. I've seen him hit long home runs that just, you go, wow.
His power is undeniable.
Powering fly to left field that's not coming back.
Cannon for an arm.
Sano fires across. He's got him. Whoa, what a play by Sano.
He doesn't shy away from tough situations late in games.
Miguel Sano comes through with a game-winning hit.
He wants at-bats when games are on the line. He looks for those kind of moments.
From the day he signed with the Twins, he has waited for this, and we know the Twins fans have waited for this. And a little celebration pregame in the dugout led by Torrey Hunter, and Sano more than happy to join in at the big league level. Paul Molitor very happy to have Sano in the hopes that he'll be able to provide a little pop.
I think it's exciting for myself and my staff and for the players. His name has been out there now for quite a while, really all the way back to when we signed him. And it's been, about a 5-year journey for him to get to this point. But, we're looking for a little pick-me-up. We've tried a couple different things to kind of jumpstart us a little bit. And, you hope he's that guy.
And he is in the lineup hitting 6th as the designated hitter. That'll be his primary role with the team this year. Trevor Plouffe called into the manager's office, and Paul Molitor just wanted to make sure Trevor Plouffe understood that he still was the manager's third baseman. So the Menards batting order has Dozier, Hunter, and Mauer, Plouffe, Rosario, Sano, Suzuki, Escobar, and Santana.
And on the mound here tonight, it'll be tall right-handed pitcher Chris Young. Chris Young at 6'10", 255. Now he's the American League Comeback Player of the Year last year when he was with the Seattle Mariners when he won 12 ball games, and there wasn't really a lot of interest in him over the winter. He waited a long time, finally signed by the Kansas City Royals on March 7th during spring training. And what a good sign it has been for the Royals since they have some of their main starters on a disabled list.
The June ERA a little misleading because he had 2 bad starts, but the others have been really good. We'll see how he fares in July. Here's the Northland Ford defense for the Royals. Gordon, Kane, and Rios, the outfielders. Moustakas, Escobar, Infante, and Hosmer, the infielders. And Salvador Perez behind the plate. North Dakota native Gary Cederstrom behind the plate. Eric Cooper, Lance Barksdale, and Quinn Wolcott on the bases.
Yeah, Chris Young, 36 years old. He's making his 11th start. He started the season in the bullpen. Is making his 2nd start against the Twins. His 4th game against the Twins this year. A couple of relief appearances. His first start came back on June 9th in Minnesota. He beat Trevor May. Ended up getting a no decision, but he had a 2-0 win. There's the outing that he had right there. He had a no-hitter for 6 1/3 innings until Trevor Plouffe hits this triple that ends up taking Young out of the ball game. No decision, but the Royals ended up beating the Twins 2-0.
And completed a 3-game sweep in that series, and that's really been that one series has been the difference in the standings to this point. If the Twins had won that series 2 out of 3, there'd only be a half game separating the two teams. As it is, it's a 4.5 game lead for Kansas City, and Brian Dozier in the box ready to go.
Yeah, Twins offense, you look at their numbers as we'll show you against Chris Young. They have not been able to figure this guy out yet. Making his 8th career start, his 10th game against the Twins. He's 2-2 with a 2.86 earned run average.
Dozier taking a look at a pitch that he normally swings at, a fastball up and in, and now off the end of the bat, an off-speed pitch, and it's quickly 0-2.
He's not an overpowering man whatsoever as far as the fastball. Might top out at 86, 87. He's been throwing a lot of sliders. That's probably his best pitch. And a very good curveball.
And Dozier on 3 pitches goes down on strikes. He threw 1 of each, I think, in that at bat. Fastball, couple of breaking pitches.
Well, take a look at this pitch right here. Looks like just a hard slider or something.
Well,
something up that Brian swung through. He must be hard to pick up, maybe because of his size, but he doesn't have that long arm. He kind of short arms the ball a little bit. Hides it well.
Here's Torrey Hunter. He talked about that. There's an interesting article today in the Kansas City newspaper about Young and the difficulty he's had the last few years trying to find work because he does not light up the radar gun. But as he says, I hide the ball well. I'm deceptive with my delivery. There's something about it that makes it hard to pick up if you're hitting it.
Well, watch. The ball almost comes out of his ear. He keeps that shoulder in nicely, and he doesn't have that long arm. Say, like an Alex Meyer, for example, has that long arm where he keeps it very compact, and it's almost like the ball is just right there. All of a sudden, there it is. So he does a good job of hiding the ball, but then that short arm, and it makes that 86-mile-an-hour fastball looks like it's about 92.
2-2 now to Hunter.
That fastball at 87, and Torrey still a little bit late on it.
Yeah, you hope, and I'm sure he is. Alex Meyer's looking at this tall guy. Meyer at 6'9", Young 6'10", and Young's been pitching for a long time and pitching effectively with a completely different delivery than the one Meyer has brought to the big leagues. Roller to short, and Escobar has an easy play. 2 down. They surprised everybody. A good second-half run, an outstanding playoff run. And some people thought that the Royals would take a step back this year, but that guy right there has really kept that from happening.
Yeah, it's a ball club that I think Ned Yost, can rely on, especially that bullpen. They have been lights out. Since 2014, 106-1 when they lead after the 7th inning.
Here's Mauer with 2 gone on the Twins first. Ball 1. An important series for the Twins because they are 4.5 behind Kansas City, and a really important stretch for the Kansas City Royals. They play every game at home now until the All-Star break, and 17 of their next 20 games are here at Kauffman Stadium. A chance for the Royals, they feel, to pull away from the Twins and everybody else if they can continue to play well at home.
And they have 22-13 at home. Now, they just got swept by the Houston Astros over the last 3 days.
2-1.
And it's the Astros that have the best winning percentage in the American League at 47-34. Or the most wins. Actually, the Royals have a higher winning percentage.
That's to the left field corner, and it's in the seats where Alex Gordon can't grab it.
See, Joe Mauer just 2 hits in 14 at-bats against Chris Young. Torrey Hunter 2 for 13 now. Brian Dozier 2 for 12. So they really haven't figured him out. And these are the table setters for the Twins.
2-2 in the dirt. And I'm going to ask you, and you can think about your answer, but what on earth would make Young so difficult for right-handers? Right-handers are hitting 164 against him.
I mean, overall, opponents are hitting just 192 coming in this ballgame. Left-handers 216. Right-handers, because he has that nasty little slider, he'll change speeds well.
It's a foul tip. The at-bat's still alive.
He works up and down in the strike zone. He's been around the block. I mean, he started with the Texas Rangers. He's pitched for the Padres, pitched for the New York Mets, and then last year, after neck surgery in 2013, came back and had a great year for the Seattle Mariners, 12-9 with a 3.65 earned run average.
Now the 3-2 pitch to Mauer. Chopped foul. First professional season, 2001.
Here's a guy, too, that had a choice to either play in the NBA or stay with baseball, and he picked baseball over maybe playing basketball for the Sacramento Kings.
And that's right through the legs of Young, and the first hit of the game goes to Mauer. He'll take a big turn and hold up with a single.
Yeah, Mauer just reached out and really hit this ball right on the button, and I think it went through the wickets of Young. And those are some tall wickets.
Probably not the first time somebody's hit one through there.
Right up the middle. Watch. This will give us a good angle. Yeah. He skipped to get out of the way, and luckily the ball did not hit him.
Here's Plouffe.
Trevor, 2 hits in 10 at-bats against Young.
And off the outside corner, ball 1. Mentioned that Young's June record, his ERA, a little misleading. He had a couple of bad starts. First start in June against the Indians here, 6 earned runs, 5 innings. And then here against the Red Sox a week and a half ago, 7 earned runs and 4 2/3 innings. So somebody's knocked him around a little bit, but Twins haven't been able to do anything against him.
Well, he's got a good major league win-loss record, too. 72 wins, only 55 losses, an ERA under 4 at 3.70. This is his 199th major league start.
Swing and a miss on the 2-0 pitch. The Royals playing the Twins, the only other team in the American League with a winning record. The Tigers lost today, and they are now a 500 club approaching the midway point of the season. And I don't think there were too many people who saw that coming.
They've lost 3 in a row now.
2-1. And a check swing, 3-1.
Yeah, that breaking ball right there at 78 miles an hour.
And the Tigers losing. Indians are starting to gain on the 500 mark again with some incredible starting pitching.
Yeah, did they not against the Tampa Bay Rays? My goodness.
3-1 to Plouffe. Swing and a miss. 3-2.
And that fastball clocked here at 86 miles an hour. So you think you have him set up for the, okay, 3-1, I'm going to get a fastball just up a little bit. Tough to lay off of, and Trevor swung through it. Joe Mauer will be taken off here.
Hosmer will hold Mauer. And ball 4. So Rosario will have a chance with the Twins trying to put together a 2-out rally in the first.
You know, over his career, Chris Young has walked 3.4 batters per 9 innings. And this year, that's his 21st in 70 innings pitched.
So Rosario will have a chance here, 0 for 2 in his first exposure to Young. Mauer with a single, Plouffe with a walk, and now the lefty Rosario. Outside ball 1. Inside 2-0.
I think Joe Mauer had the right approach against Young. I think if you're trying to hit the ball a long way off this guy, it's hard to catch up to him. He's very good at, he's stingy at allowing home runs, only 7 on the year. This being his 11th start. And Young falling behind, just 1 of 5 first pitch strikes.
Hit to the corner, but it's hooking. Foul. Rosario jumped all over that pitch and didn't wait quite long enough. Paul Molitor said, in other words, exactly what you said. He said he thinks, having seen Young be so effective against the Twins, and some of the hitters see an 87-mile-per-hour fastball and think, well, I can cream that and try to hit it, try to do more with it than what they should. 2-1 to Rosario. Flip to left, and Gordon comes in to end the inning. A single, a walk, 2 left aboard. Kyle Gibson will take the mound at the bottom of the first. from a year ago. Here's the Menards batting order for the Royals. It's Escobar leading off, then Moustakas, who was hitting below 200 a year ago. Lorenzo Cain, Eric Hosmer, Kendrys Morales, Alex Gordon, Salvador Perez, Alex Rios, Omar Infante, and Escobar takes outside ball one from Kyle Gibson.
Yeah, Kyle making his fourth start against the Royals this year, his second here. This is his 16th start overall, and he has pitched some of his best games against the Royals.
Chop to the right side. Mauer gets the second hop, goes to the bag. Escobar out, one away. Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Eddie Rosario in left field. Danny Santana out in center. Torrey Hunter in right. Escobar and Dozier up the middle. Plouffe and Mauer the corner infielders, and Suzuki behind the plate.
Now, Kyle has 20 major league wins, 4 of them coming against the Kansas City Royals. He actually made his major league debut here in in Minnesota against the Royals back in June of 2013. He was a 6-2 winner in that ball game. And the starter in that game for the Royals then was Wade Davis.
Strike one to Moustakas. And now with one strike, the Twins will exaggerate the shift.
They have to find a way to get this guy out. He's done very well against the Twins this year. 14 hits and 39 at bats.
Moustakas gets a hit.
You know, he did that here before against the Twins.
Good for him.
Yep.
I would like to see more hitters, including Twins hitters, do what he just did there. The Twins do a lot of shifting within the at-bat. They did not have the exaggerated shift. There was the shift before the first strike, and then you see the Twins shifting, and Moustakas says, okay, I got 2 strikes left. I'll use one right here.
Right. A lot of times we'll see that shift with 2 strikes. Very rarely do we see it with 1 strike, and Moustakas, as you mentioned, took advantage of that shift.
It'll be interesting. We got a 4-game series here. It might cause the Twins to change how they play it the rest of this 4-game series. Here's Cain, and he takes strike one.
Well, this is a good hitting Royals ball club. Only the Detroit Tigers have a higher team batting average. Royals come into this game after first 75 games hitting .271 as a club. Tigers hitting .275 before today's game.
Down and away, dug out by Suzuki, 1-1.
And we've seen Kyle first couple 2-3 innings trying to overthrow that ball a little bit. Now he has that sinking fastball. He can get ground ball outs, and that's when he's at his best. 17 double plays turned behind Kyle. He and Mike Pelfrey tied for the major league lead in double plays turned behind him.
Fouled away. The Royals ambushed Gibson in his last start against them on June 10th. They scored 4 runs in the first inning on Gibson. The big blow, a 3-run home run from Alex Gordon. And since then, Gibson's given the Twins 3 good starts, only 2 quality starts, because in one start against the Cubs, he only lasted 5 innings. 1-2. Checked his swing, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, missed with that slider right there. And that's been a hit or miss pitch for Kyle. It's really good, and then he has also told us that he's had trouble with this slider from time to time. Along with the slider, that sinking fastball, very good changeup.
Dozier to the bag, and there's a double play.
Number 18 for Gibson.
Gibson reached for it, and it was a good thing he didn't get it. Went straight to Dozier for an inning-ending double play, and now Miguel Sano will come to the plate as a big leaguer for the first time.
patio, I would climb the tree, cut a branch, a stick like this, with a knife,
Un ramo de esto. Y hacíamos con un cuchillo, lo mochábamos, lo operaban.
and we would cut it to make a bat. I played baseball here in the patio. You know, me and the other kids, and that's how I started playing baseball.
Isn't that awesome? That is awesome.
Some family here from the Dominican Republic.
I hope they're named Eddie and Maria. Like Eddie Rosario's dad and mom.
Pitch, chop, foul. Now, the top 3 hitting prospects for the Twins coming into the year have all broken through to the big leagues, and the bookends have already been established. Eddie Rosario hit a home run on the first pitch he saw. Byron Buxton struck out. We'll see where Sano fits in terms of making a splash in the big leagues. 1 strike. Hard to center field, but Kane makes the catch. It's a line out for the first out of the second inning.
It's a powerful swing right here by Miguel Sano. Breaking ball right there, but hit it sharply, but right at Kane for the first out.
1 down, and that'll bring up Kurt Suzuki. Paul Molitor talked with Sano today about how to handle the designated hitter role. It's something he hasn't done much of. And Paul just said, here's not how I used to do it, but here's how people have done it in terms of a routine. Okay, first at bat's over with. Now get ready for your next one. Do whatever you want to do, but prepare yourself. But, and these are my words, not Paul's, you have to divorce yourself from the at-bat that just happened. Don't sit for the next 45 minutes thinking about your first at-bat. Do something to get your mind away from the at-bats. Just engage yourself in the game. Watch the pitcher. Go up, take a few swings off the tee, whatever, but don't sit and think about every at-bat.
Easier said than done when your heart is pumping about 200 miles an hour.
1-1 to Suzuki. And a ball hit over the Royals dugout. But Paul said, and of course Paul excelled as a designated hitter because he found a routine that worked for him, but he says it's his experience that those who just sit and stew about a good at bat or what's going to happen in the next at bat and all that, those people don't handle the role very well. 1-2 to Suzuki. Checked his swing, 2-2.
Yeah, Kurt 2 for 11 off of Chris Young. He does have a home run against him. Kurt's average has been right around the 220s, 230s. Got hot there for a while, but slacked off a little bit.
And now 3-2. Twins have made Young work a little bit. Bluth worked out a walk.
Well, Young threw 26 pitches in that first inning.
It's hit to right center field. It'll be chased by Rios and Kane glides after it, hauls it in the gap. 2 down. And before Escobar bats, today's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. And the Twins with the next to worst record in the month of June to the White Sox, and in the process lost 5 games in the standings to the Royals.
Hey, you know what? There's so much up for grab here. You mentioned the Indians. They're playing better baseball. You know, don't count them out. The Tigers, they're still a tough club. I think what helps Kansas City is what they did last year. You know, to go to the playoffs, go to the World Series. Even though they lost, they got the taste of that success. And the nucleus of this Royals ball club is still together, intact together. They just tried to add some pieces. Rios out in right field. Well, they didn't anticipate him getting hit like he did in Minnesota, breaking his arm.
3 catches in the outfield for Lorenzo Cain. The Royals will hit in the bottom of the second in a battle for supremacy in the American League Central. The Twins hope to get a little bit closer to the Royals by weekend's end. Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Budweiser. Make a plan to make it home. Miguel Sano lining out in his Major League debut. He'll watch the Royals hit now in the bottom of the second, starting with Eric Hosmer. Hosmer back in the lineup. Had a finger issue. Missed a few games in Houston. Down and in, ball one.
Yeah, you know what? I came out here early, and actually Miguel Sano was just getting here at the ballpark, so we went down to the elevator together, and then later we were down in the dugout, and I said, "You ever been in a ballpark like this?" And he just kind of went, "No." This is a lot better than Chattanooga.
And might be looking over his shoulder at his family. And the inside corner now. Gibson going outside now inside and getting ahead of Hosmer 1-2. The two teams are pretty close together when it comes to run scoring. Twins are actually 8th in the league in runs scored. The Royals are 10th, but the Royals have played fewer games. You look position by position, and there's Hosmer swinging and missing. A strikeout for Gibson to start the second.
It looked like a good changeup right there, and Kyle picks up his first strikeout. Hosmer just getting back. He missed all of those 3 games down in Houston because of a slide where he hurt his left finger, the ring finger. But a good pitch by Kyle.
You look at the two teams position by position, and it's closer than I think most fans would think in terms of run production or runs batted in. For instance, Hosmer for the Royals, 40 runs batted in. Mauer for the Twins, 39. And here's a fly to left off the bat of Morales, and Rosario makes a fair ball catch in the corner, 2 away. The big difference is the guy who just stepped in the plate and very quickly was retired. The DH spot, Kansas City has a huge edge in that category.
Yeah, you know what, Morales, his best year came in 2009 when he was with the Angels, and he hit 306, hit 34 home runs, drove 108 runs, and boy, the Angels were excited to have him, and then he hit that grand slam, jumped on top of home plate, broke his ankle, and it's been a while since he's putting a good year together here this year for the Royals.
There's Alex Gordon. Gordon, Kane, and Mike Trout, the leading vote getters in the balloting, and Gordon's numbers too modest to justify a starting assignment for the All-Star game, but the voting will end at midnight tonight, I believe.
Well, he's made the last 2 All-Stars for the Royals. 4-time Gold Glove winner out in left field, and he's always had good numbers against the Twins, a career .297 hitter. 19 career home runs against the Twins. He's hit 2 this year.
See, sometimes after the second strike the Twins shift, but now it's 2-0, and they figure Gordon's chances of bunting the ball aren't very good, so they shift.
Yeah, maybe with 1 out he may try to do what Moustakas did, but with 2 outs here he wants to try to get maybe to second base. Gordon not a base stealer, so he's looking right now. He'll have the green light on 3-0.
Again, it was Gordon who hit the big 3-run home run against Gibson in early June. And a 4-pitch walk will send him to first. That'll bring up Salvador Perez. You may have issue with some of the Royals leading the vote getting and perhaps starting in the All-Star game. I don't think too many people in baseball have issue with Salvador Perez as the starting catcher. Very good numbers. Tremendous handler of this Kansas City pitching staff.
And tell me real quick, who's the backup catcher here?
Well, I know because it's Drew Butera.
I know, but this is a guy that does not miss many games at all.
Outside ball 1.
Perez 12 hits and 36 at bats against the Twins this season. You can see since 2014 who has caught the most innings. This man right here, Perez.
And it's not close. Strike, and the oddity to me is Ned Yost, his manager, was a backup catcher. You'd think a backup catcher would be a little more sympathetic to whoever's the backup catcher here. In this case, Drew Butera, in terms of hey, giving this guy his chance to play from time to time, but not when you've got Perez, who's very good and very durable. 1-1. Gibson's misfired now in 6 of his last 7 pitches.
Yeah, Perez, 25 years old, from Venezuela, signed by the Royals back in 2006. This is his 5th season with the Royals. 2-time All-Star the last couple of years, 2-time Gold Glove winner last couple of years. Getting recognition he well deserves.
Royals do like to run, and even Gordon can join in from time to time. Just 1 steal and 5 tries, though. As a team, they're 44 for 61. A very good steal percentage, approaching 75%. On the ground, and an easy play for Escobar. A runner left aboard in the 2nd, on to the 3rd, no score. An early lead against the Royals. Trying to do some damage against Chris Young. Danny Santana will lead off the 3rd.
Yeah, I mentioned that Kyle Gibson made his major league debut against the Kansas City Royals. And Chris Young made his major league debut against the Twins when he was with the Texas Rangers back in 2004.
Santana worked on this.
Oh, very nice.
Beautiful bunt. You and I were both here early, and we saw Santana and Rosario and Escobar and some others work on their bunting, and what a great bunt that was.
Maybe leaving Cincinnati and watching Billy Hamilton do it, maybe something hit home, but you know what? When you have that type of speed and you can lay that ball down past the pitcher, you're going to get a base hit. And a good bunt by Danny Santana. Good for him.
4th bunt hit of the year. Back to the top of the order now, Brian Dozier, who struck out on 3 pitches.
And you would think you could do it because of who was on the mound, too, because he's not going to overpower you with a fastball. And all Santana did was just kind of lay the barrel of the bat out there and take it with him. But very nicely done.
Through it all, he didn't look like he was ever in a hurry to do it. And, and the people who do it well stay still and put the ball down and then move their head and their legs. Talked with Paul Molitor a couple weeks ago about the best bunters he's seen in his time, and take yourself out of the equation because Paul himself was pretty good. He said he always admired Kenny Lofton, who, like in this case Santana, was a left-handed batter, 1-0 to Dozier.
I would throw Brett Butler in there on that too.
But Paul didn't see. There's a throw to first, Santana back. Paul didn't see as much of him because Butler's best years were with the Dodgers.
Right.
But he said Lofton was the best from the left side at getting into the bunting position as late as possible, and then being in perfect bunting position would drop it down and then run.
And shades of Rod Carew. It was a thing of beauty to watch him bunt.
And down and away, 2-1. Santana had to get back to the bag at first, and all the Twins runners should have been very well schooled on Perez's ability and inclination to throw to the bases.
Clubs have run against Young, 7 stolen bases in 8 attempts.
That gets by Perez, and Santana got a good read. Gary Cederstrom actually kept it from going to the backstop, and Santana moves into scoring position.
You want to be ready in case that ball's in the dirt. One thing that Paul Molitor was so good at, and he's trying to stress it into his players, that ball skips off the glove of Perez, and right away Santana scooted to second. A wild pitch will be charged to Chris Young. That's his second wild pitch of the year.
The best job Perez has done in blocking a pitch. Just kind of tried to backhand it. And on the ground, Santana has to hold up, and Escobar throws to first. Dozier retired.
An unproductive out.
Dozier's deck is back for this season, August 29th. Special offer includes a Skyline deck ticket and a Dozier Blaze Orange and Camo jersey t-shirt. Portion of the proceeds will, from every ticket sold, benefit the Pheasants Forever organization. You can call 833-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com/Dozier's deck.
And Paul Molitor was talking about that non-productive outs. When you're not scoring a lot of runs, you have to do the little things to score runs. And Dozier, that's a non-productive out. Now Torrey has to think, okay, maybe a sacrifice fly would have scored Santana from third. Now he's got to get a base hit, and that's not easy against this tall right-hander.
1 strike. And now 2 strikes. Orioles have a infielder on Fonte right behind second base. Wide open spaces on the right side, and now they've got Santana picked off.
They got to run closer to Santana. My goodness.
It took a snowball fight to get him, but they ended up getting it.
Well, Chris Young, and I think Santana was going on first movement. He picked up that left leg and just spun around, and Santana hot right there.
But to your point, that doesn't happen if Santana's already at third base.
Right. Yeah, I'm not going to attempt to say how that was. Let us go that he was picked off.
I think everybody in the infield touched it at least once. 2 outs, 2 strikes now to Hunter, and a ball.
Well, I think, Paul, what he meant by that is, you know what, if you're not scoring runs, sometimes you have to give yourself up for that guy that's in scoring position at second base. Get him over there and then put that first run on the board.
Wow.
And that's one thing the Twins have had a tough time doing, is getting that first run on the board. How did that play go?
And then I'm going to be reminded of Halsey Hall's great line. The scoring on that play went 1-4-5, 4-1-6-5, and if a man answers, hang up.
Halsey was the best.
Fouled away. There's 7 digits. That could be somebody's phone number.
That could be. I say between innings, we try calling it. It's a long distance number, that's for sure. It starts with a 1. We'll use your phone.
Okay. 1-2 to Hunter. And now inside 2-2. Flip down the right field line, foul. Time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag NorthDataStrongFan, and you might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Breaking ball, left up high, and it's 3-2. 50 pitches for Young, and he has recorded 8 outs with the pickoff. On the ground, Escobar has it.
That good slider again.
And the Twins get a bunt single, but send just 3 men to the plate.
They've done little things along the way to kind of keep it current, but when you go into that ballpark, you certainly don't feel like it's been there as long as it has.
It's a big park.
It's one of my favorite stadiums to play at. I love pitching in Kauffman. It's a big field, and once again, those fans know baseball.
And there are more of them here than there used to be. The Royals' run to the World Series has helped spark attendance, expecting crowds of over 30,000 for all 4 games.
Which is great here in Kansas City. And Kyle has pitched well here in Kansas City.
Alex Rios leading off the 3rd. And a ball and a strike. I tried dialing 1454165.
Yeah, who'd you get?
And was told by my cell carrier that that was not a real number and to check the number and try again. But I won't do that. This hit to right center field. Hunter running to the gap. Reaches up, flags it down, 1 down.
Well, Kyle Gibson, like he said on the tape, he likes pitching here. In 6 career starts, Kyle 4-2, very good earned run average. Now they've got him a couple times here this year, but those are his career numbers. And, his 3rd start here tonight, where he's 1-1 with a 2.55, excuse me, a 2.25 earned run average.
Omar Infante takes strike 1. Ned Yost before the game today talking about the great pitching the Royals ran into in Houston, and then a figurative tip of the cap to Kyle Gibson, who he says has been really tough against the Royals over the years as well. Infante takes strike 2.
Well, Kyle at 6'6". That was an excellent delivery, that last one right there. Staying back over the pitching rubber, creating that downward plane. And that helps that sinker. Stays on top of that ball. Just like that. Good slider right there.
Strike 3. He's gone on 3 pitches, 2 down.
Kyle picking up his 2nd strikeout on a good slider. 6'6", you want to stay on top of that baseball and create that downward plane where the hitter sees only the top of the ball. Kyle bringing his arm through. You see the whip, asking for help, and that slider was a called third strike.
We'll bring up Alcides Escobar. He hit a two-hopper to Mauer to start the ball game for Kansas City. And strike one. And Escobar's leading the vote getting at shortstop for the American League. Infante is at second base despite his modest numbers. 1-1.
Well, if he makes the team, it'll be his first All-Star appearance. Came over from the Milwaukee Brewers in the Zach Greinke trade back in the winter of 2010.
Nice pickup by Plouffe. And a 1-2-3 third inning for Kyle Gibson.
Your link to what's next by NorthlandFord.com and your local Northland Ford dealer. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here.
Well, Gibson's given up just a bunt single and a walk, but he's been very good through 3 innings. We head to the 4th, no score. Mauer will hit. Plouffe in the on-deck circle. Rosario in the hole, and then Miguel Sano would hit 4th this inning.
That's it. Twins can get a couple runs on the board for Kyle Gibson this inning. Chris Young, 51 pitches in the first 3 innings. 26 in the first.
Outside to Mauer, who lined between the legs of Young in the first inning with 2 outs. And a strike on the outside corner.
Good changeup right there. That might have been his fastball. It was 86.
Yeah, his fastball will be the equivalent of the reliever's changeup when they come in. Meaning Herrera and Davis and Holland. Right to the shortstop. Easy play for Escobar. Or makes it a close play, 1 down.
Twins keeping Escobar busy.
Sanford Health Injury Report. Quite a game with Jose Fernandez coming back from Tommy John surgery, getting the win and hitting a home run against Matt Cain.
You know, Miami, they've gone through a lot this year. They've lost Stanton, and good for Jose Fernandez coming back. And you know, a lot of hype about this young man, how he can do, and good for the Giants to get Matt Cain back. Giants still trying to catch those Dodgers.
Right off the end of the bat. And Infante throws Plouffe out, 2 down. Just from up here, it looks like a lot of the Twins batters are trying to pull Chris Young, and they've done so ineffectively. July 7th, it's Celebrate Diversity Day, presented by Prairie Island Indian Community. The first 10,000 fans get a Twins drawstring backpack courtesy of Treasure Island Resort and Casino. You can go to twinsbaseball.com/tickets and get your tickets today. Here's Rosario. Lifted a short fly ball to left with 2 on and 2 out in the first. Gordon made the easy catch. First pitch is up high, ball 1.
Did you ever play basketball in high school?
Very poorly, but yes.
Did you play all 4 years?
Well, I did. I just a little bit my junior year on varsity and my senior year.
Would you have liked to had a center like Young in the middle of the court?
I think our center was Phil Lindemann at 6'3".
You know, at Princeton, Young not only played baseball, also played basketball. And once he had a 20-point game at Kansas when he played for Princeton back in 1999. Again, you know, he had a chance to play in the NBA. But I think he decided, you know, that baseball was fit better for him than the NBA.
2-1 to Rosario. Hot back. I told you the story before. When I was in high school playing basketball, I was a swing guy, and I was a forward.
You had a swing on the court for you?
No, I played some different positions. But when I was a
Did your coach say, go swing?
No.
Oh, okay.
When I was a forward, I'd dribble the ball. The coach said, get it to a guard, get it to a guard. Then he made me a guard, and I'd hear, get it to a forward, get it to a forward. I got the sense that he just didn't want me touching the ball.
I don't know what gave you that idea.
2-2 to Rosario. Sano's on deck.
Could you shoot? I mean, did they allow you to shoot?
Yeah, I made a few shots. And now 3-2. Twins have had a base runner on at least one in 2 of the innings. Had 2 men on after the second out in the first. That's hit well to right center field to the gap. And it one hops the wall, actually carries the fence on the first hop. And Rosario will have a double with 2 outs.
Yeah, this is a big ballpark. This is, you know, we just came from Cincinnati and Milwaukee to where the power alleys were about 370 to 379. Here they're 387 in the power alleys. And Rosario caught up to that 3-2 fastball and split the gap between Kane and Rios. Ball bouncing over for the ground rule double.
Pretty good breeze blowing in from right center field. That might have helped knock that ball down a little bit. And now Sano with a line drive to center in his first major league at bat.
Rosario with his 6th double of the year. 3rd hit for the Twins.
Foul back, 1 strike. And Miguel Sano on Twitter saying so happy to go to the big leagues. He loves the Twins. Go Twins and go Miguel Sano. Up and in.
You know what I saw from Sano a little bit? I saw him in spring training, and we did a game a couple years ago against the Yankees that he was playing third. He made some nice plays, but he doesn't have a violent swing. Once, you know, he's real comfortable at the plate, it seems like.
Yeah, swing but a strike. Well, I saw him hit the home run in spring training. We were televising that game, and it left his bat and looked like it went straight up in the air and still carried 450 feet, something like that, down the left field line. And that gets by Perez. It's the second ball that Perez doesn't block. He had his legs squared, his shoulders squared to the pitch, and it still went through the 5-hole. Another one that probably should have been blocked.
Again, a lot of sliders thrown by Young. This is another one that I think Perez expected that ball to come up, and it stayed down. Another wild pitch for Young, his second.
Time the Twins have had a runner at third base with 2 down, and 2-2 to Miguel Sano. Three and two, and Perez succeeds in blocking that one. It was maybe a tougher one to block. It was in front of the batter's box. If Sano extends the inning, Suzuki would hit next. Rosario dances down the line, and Young just simply steps off the rubber and stares at him.
Yeah, a lot of pitches for Young. 6 full counts.
Fouled back. It was against the Royals when Torrey Hunter tried to steal home against Jeremy Guthrie, who also used the full windup with a runner at third. Another 3-2 to Sano. Struck him out. Took a little bit off. And Rosario's left at third base.
Kind of takes a verbal beating every day, but takes it well.
We love Kyle.
Funny, tons of potential.
Power sinker.
A great slider. He's going to be a pitcher of the biggest for a long time.
Gibson is one of the young pitchers that I think is really going to have a great season this year.
Today, Gibson hopes to even his one-loss record at 6-6.
Well, nobody should know that better than Kurt Suzuki, who catches Kyle Gibson. He's got really good stuff. He really does. You know, this time now he's got how many pitches? 33 to 50. That's when that arm starts to tire a little bit, and you're going to probably see better movement, maybe some more ground ball outs. Good slider right there under the swing of Moustakas.
The Twins will now wait until the second strike to shift on Moustakas. In his first inning at bat, they shifted after the first strike, and Moustakas dropped down a bunt. 0-2. And inside. That's the only hit that the Royals have so far tonight against Gibson. A one-strike bunt single.
Yeah, and then next batter, Kane, hit into the double play to end the first.
Chop to Gibson, who has time to gather in the second hop, one away. Repercussions from the Cardinal Astro hacking situation. Chris Correa, their scouting director, dismissed today. And there may be other repercussions from that when it's all said and done. The investigation continuing. One down. And Lorenzo Cain, the batter. And he pulls one through the shift.
Yeah, that slider looked like just stayed up right there. Cain Guy that likes that ball away to extend those arms, hit it sharply in the left field.
Carsoup.com trivia with a man at first and one out. When was the last time the Royals won a division title? Remember, they got in last year as a wild card. Had the one-game playoff with the A's, and it looked like the A's were going to coast to a win, but the Royals started running on John Lester and cashed in the last couple innings, ended up eliminating the A's. Here's Hosmer. Struck out his first time up. Outside, ball one. Missing up and or in. It's 2-0.
We see the left hand of Hosmer kind of taped together, protect that ring finger that he jammed in Oakland, sliding into second base. Was that early here this afternoon, taking some batting practice off of Jason Vargas, who's trying to come back off the disabled list.
I guess everything went well. Vargas had a 40-pitch simulated game. The next step will be to ramp it up to 60. He's had the same issue twice, though, and a strained forearm, and I would imagine the Royals will be extra cautious with it. 2-1 to Hosmer. And he bunts in the air, and that will right over the bag. So both Moustakas and Hosmer have beaten the Twins shift with a bunt.
Well, the count, 2 balls and 1 strike, and Hosmer thinking, okay, he's got to come in with a fastball, which he did. And he just lays that ball right down that third baseline. Nothing Trevor could do.
2 on, 1 out, and now Kendrys Morales. Morales with a fly to the left field corner on the first pitch he saw from Gibson in the second. Morales providing for the Royals what the Twins hoped he would provide for them a year ago. But he didn't have spring training last year and never was able to catch up to big league pitching. Over the inside corner.
Now Morales, a switch hitter, is a left-handed hitter. 9 of his 10 home runs have come from the left side of the plate. And leading the Royals in runs batted in.
And leading the Royals in at-bats. Actually 1 behind Moustakas. Bouncer right side. Mauer with a nice stop. And they get the force at second base. Mauer looking at Dozier saying, would you have been able to get that? And Joe, with a kind of a tough play, made a nice catch and a tough throw with the runner right there.
He really had. That's the best play for Joe right there, because he did have to dive towards second base. And then once he got the ball and he got up, it would have been tough to throw to first from this position. But instead, taking the force out at second base. So a nice defensive play by Joe Mauer.
Hosmer with a legal slide, but he knew what was up, and he ran to the outfield side of the direct line between first and second, trying to maybe deflect Mauer's throw in case it was coming. First and third, 2 down, and here's Gordon, who walked his first time up. Inside, ball 1. You'd be tempted, wouldn't you, to not even hold Morales on. He's not much of a threat. Got a dangerous left-handed hitter and Gordon at the plate.
A lot of times what we'll see first basemen do, they will step out 3 or 4 feet and still be around that area just so they can cover a little bit more ground to their right, as Joe is right there. He's kind of bouncing off first base.
That's the inside corner called, 1-1.
Yeah, he'll start at the bag, but then when the ball delivers home, then Joe will jump out probably around 3 or 4 or 5 feet.
One and one to Gordon. They're really working the ball inside to Gordon. Walked on 4 pitches in his first plate appearance. Now it's 2-1. Missing inside again.
Well, you go over the hitter before the ball game, and I guess this is the way they want to pitch Alex Gordon. He is 5 for 14 against Gibson with a home run.
And now 4 walks against him as well. Perez on deck.
Watch Suzuki. Does he go back in again? Yes, he does.
And now they're loaded. A single to the outfield, a bunt single, and now a walk. With 2 down, Perez will come up. You can take your family to the ballpark this summer. And the Minnesota Twins, our family section, presented by Fox Sports North. Tickets in this alcohol-free section start at just $10 and include a free Schweigert hot dog and Pepsi. For ticket information, visit foxsportsnorth.com. Click on upcoming events on the Hot Topics bar. Neil Allen wants his 2 cents worth here.
Yeah, quick trip to the mound by Neil Allen. And he said his piece. And runs back to the dugout.
Neil Allen, born here in Kansas City. He and his father were Kansas City Royal fans. Probably Kansas City A's fans before they moved to Oakland. Bases full, 2 down for Sal Perez. Down and away, ball 1. And Perez might have swung a ball 2. 1-1.
Well, Kyle Gibson staying in that windup, and Kane at third base kind of toying with him a little bit.
Foul back. You think of Perez as being the best catcher in the league, at least I do. But then you look at his numbers, 267. 13 home runs, but only 34 runs batted in. And Gibson trying to make sure he doesn't add to his RBI total in this at bat. 1 and 2.
And Perez, you know, he's a good hitter. He'll hit that ball the other way, too. Uses the whole field. He's another guy on the Royals, like to extend those arms. Guy you going to go in, you want to go way in. Like that, just missing.
But as you say, if you're going to miss that pitch, miss in off the plate rather than over the plate.
Right, exactly. Suzuki setting in, and pretty good take actually by Perez right there.
2 and 2.
You want something to happen here. Hopefully a strikeout or one of those sacrifice flies.
There, locked him up with a breaking ball. And Perez with some words for Gary Cederstrom. Nice job by Gibson, leaving the bases full. No score heading to the 5th. grinning from ear to ear. Miguel Sano's debut, and the Mountain Dew fans of the game are here to watch it in Kansas City.
Yeah, I thought that was Johnny Farrell right off the get-go when I saw that gentleman talking there a little bit. Manager of the Boston Red Sox.
Kurt Suzuki leading off the fifth, and he takes strike one. No score through 4 innings. Here's one for you. When's the last time you saw 4 innings that had 3 bunt hits in it? Royals have 2, Twins have 1. Suzuki takes inside, 1-1. Each team with 3 hits. Royals have left 4, the Twins have left 3. It's hit down the left field line. Gordon will chase it, and he won't make a play on it. It's off the wall, and Suzuki heads to second with a leadoff double. Twins haven't had many balls hit to left that Gordon hasn't caught, and Suzuki gets the second double for the Twins.
Yeah, he wasn't playing a deep left field, and Kurt got a pitch down and just got good wood on it right there, right down that left field line. And Gordon, a 4-time Gold Glove winner, he can't catch up to us. A 1 hops the fence. So Suzuki a leadoff double, his 10th double of the year.
Somewhere in the Twins dugout, Joe Mauer's got his jaw wide open. Can't believe that a ball was hit to left that Gordon didn't catch. Second situation now where the Twins have the leadoff man on at second, nobody out in the 3rd inning. Santana had a bunt single, went to second on a wild pitch, and then he did not get advanced to 3rd and did not score. In fact, he got picked off a little bit after the first out. We'll see what Escobar can do here in the 5th. And he bunts, and Young will throw to first, and another bunt, another good bunt, getting the runner to 3rd base.
And that is a productive out right there. It'll be a sacrifice for Escobar, advancing Suzuki over to 3rd.
And given who the runner is, that's an important advancement. No guarantee that a hit to the outfield would have scored Suzuki from second, but it had better score him from 3rd.
What it does, it brings their infield in and cuts down their angle. So hopefully Santana can make good contact here.
Santana with a drag bunt for a base hit, leading off the 3rd. Taken low, ball 1. The infield is in, and the outfield is in as well. Center fielder Kane.
I was just going to have them check the outfielders. Even all the outfielders playing pretty shallow. Santana maybe hit a gapper right here and watch him run around the bases.
2-0. We saw that last year, but we have not seen much of Santana hitting gappers this year. Almost 3 across there. Rios, Kane, and Gordon. That's to left center field to the gap.
All right, run.
And Santana will run to second and then to 3rd.
Wow.
And Gene Glenn will hold him there with a triple, and the Twins take a 1-0 lead.
Wow, was that a thing of beauty to watch him round those bases? With the outfield playing pretty shallow, Santana got a high pitch and hit that ball in the gap in left center. And it was off to the races. Twins take a 1-0 lead thanks to the triple by Santana.
Now the infield will be in for Dozier.
Take a look at his speed right here. Shades of Rod Carew, how he runs low. Wow.
And now Dozier pops it up. 1 strike. You know, he got a pitch up and he drove it, but he took a pitch down right before that. And that's something that is, I'm sure, good for Tom Bernansky to see. Santana wasn't over eager. There wasn't much he was going to do with that first pitch other than beat it into the ground, and then Young made a mistake. 1 strike to Dozier. And a swing and a miss, 2 strikes.
That's that slider again that Young has relied on. over his last 6 starts.
Dozier can get done on 0-2 with Perez setting away. Blocking at that time, 1-2. We saw it in Milwaukee. We saw it in Cincinnati. We've already seen it here in Kansas City. Teams pitching Bryan away off the plate.
Yeah. Until he starts to prove that, you know, a ball left inside, we know what he can do. But if you can hit your spot away again, Perez sitting away, another slider down in the dirt. Guarantee you the hot zone, everything up.
44 extra base hits, and most of them in the upper 2/3 of the strike zone.
Oh,
to short center. Kane coming in, and he'll make the catch, and Santana playing it about 1/3 of the way, 2 down.
Yeah, he got a pitch up right there. I think Bryan would like to have back because he should have driven that ball a little bit further than he did. A big out for Chris Young and the Royals.
Slug your way to the Home Run Derby crown and master the free award-winning game millions are playing. Action-packed, insanely fun. Play in Great American Ballpark, home of the 2015 All-Star Game with 2015 Home Run Derby participants. Download MLB.com Home Run Derby on the App Store and Google Play. And the Twins now need a big 2-out hit from Torrey Hunter. Strike on the outside corner. Torrey with 2 ground balls to short. A foul down the right field line. Suzuki pulled his double. Santana hit his to the opposite field gap, his extra base hit. He's still at third with 2 down and 2 strikes to the batter. On the ground to Escobar. 3rd time the Torreys grounded out to the Kansas City shortstop. The Twins get a couple of extra base hits and the game's first run. Kyle Gibson did a nice job getting out of a jam in the 4th.
Yeah, he did with bases loaded and 2 outs. Salvador Perez up. Do a little pitch by pitch. First pitch away that just misses, says Gary Sealerstrom, the home plate umpire. And then a fastball that a strike that he fouled off. And then he fouls off another pitch. Gibson ahead in the count, tries to come in and just misses. And then the breaking ball right there, kind of a spitter, almost a backup slider.
You could see where Suzuki's target was. It was away, but Gibson put it over the inside corner. Here's Alex Rios, high fly center field. Hit almost right at Danny Santana. That's the second at bat in a row where Rios has been retired on the first pitch. One down.
You know what? Ever since he got his hand broken by J.R. Graham, and he's come back off the disabled list. He's been about 7 weeks on a disabled list. It's not the same Alex Rios that we've seen over the years. And the Royals have not seen.
That's a concern for the Astros. Now George Springer's out with a broken wrist. He was hit by Edison Volquez pitch last night in Kansas City's game down in Houston, and the Astros are going to be without Springer for a month and a half, it appears. One ball rather to Omar Infante. Struck out on 3 pitches his first time up.
Yeah, a lot of people making a big deal about Infante being on that All-Star ballot, but I mean, fans have the right to vote. Right behind Gary Cederstrom is a Vote Royals, Royals.com. That has it at every ballpark. Not the Royal. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why. Every ballpark has Vote Royals.
I could have sworn in Cincinnati it said Vote Red, but I might be wrong. 2 down. Escobar will bat.
But Infante, what I'm saying, he did make the All-Star team for the Braves back in 2010.
Coming up, baseball's best players will be in Cincinnati for the Midsummer Classic, with home field advantage for the World Series on the line. Coverage of the 2015 MLB All-Star Game comes up July 14th at 6 p.m. Central on Fox, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. 2 quick outs here in the 5th. And now Alcides Escobar. And a strike. Escobar with a grounder to Mauer and a grounder to Plouffe. Three singles allowed by Kyle Gibson so far, 2 of them bunt singles. Escobar's been the biggest nemesis for the Royals against Gibson. 0 for 2 tonight, still 8 for 19 against him.
I just watching Kyle work here tonight. He's doing a good job getting to that balance point and really keeping the ball down in the zone. Good change up there.
What an inning after your team gives you a run. 1, 2, 3. The Royals go down quickly, and Joe Mauer will lead off the 6th. Best night at the plate in quite some time. A bunt single, an RBI triple. And Mauer, Plouffe, Rosario will hit for sure in the 6th, and then if somebody reaches or scores, Miguel Sano will have another at bat. Mauer 1 for 2, a sharp single to center in the 1st, and then he tapped out to short in the 4th. Strike on the outside corner. Breaking ball missed, and it's 1-1. And a sharp single to right. Mauer pulling one through the hole, and the leadoff man is on for the 2nd inning in a row.
Joe picking up his 2nd hit. Hey, Twin fans, don't forget at Twin home games, you're bringing your Circle Me signs, and if you get circled like that, even my telly's not working, but you are hereby circled from Rosemont, Minnesota, you might find yourself in a Minnesota Lottery winner circle where you could win $100 worth of lottery scratch-off tickets courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery.
One of the reasons we see so many Twins fans here is the drive couldn't be easier. 420 miles or wherever it is where you're from, you just get on the freeway, you come down here and
you go south, don't you?
You go south.
Very good.
Plouffe takes ball 1. The ball rolls away from Perez, and Mauer alertly goes to 2nd. The 3rd wild pitch tonight for Chris Young. And at least 2 of them should have been blocked by the catcher.
Well, we've seen other pitches that he has blocked too, meaning Perez, but Young has thrown a lot of balls that land in front of home plate. You can see right there, Perez just trying to deaden the ball, but Mauer got a good read and scoots to 2nd.
Another man at 2nd, nobody out situation. We'll see what Plouffe can get done here. Squaring to bunt, and he bunts successfully. And Young fires and gets Plouffe at 1st. The cleanup hitter with a sacrifice bunt.
Boy, and I tell you what, Trevor was very close at getting a base hit because it almost looked like Young was expecting Moustakas to come in and field that. In the last second, he kind of picked it up, wheeled, and threw. Ned Yost coming out. Did they get enough out of Young here tonight? They did.
Make a pitching change here with the left-hand hitting Rosario coming up. And Young comes out down 1-0. A runner at 3rd and 1 out. We've had 5 bunts in this game. But first, you can spend your summer at Target Field and become a Twins season ticket holder with a new Pick 10 plan. You pick 10 games against the opponents that you want to see defeated and save off the box office price. Enjoy sweet spot benefits exclusive to Twins season ticket holders, including 10% off game day food and merchandise at Target Field. Learn more about package options by visiting twinsbaseball.com/pick10 or by calling 612-33-TWINS.
Yeah, now the tough part for the Twins and their offense, because they have to face the bullpen. The best combined earned run average in all of baseball is the Kansas City Royals bullpen at 2.06. They are 12-5 out of that bullpen. Morales has done his part, making his 33rd relief appearance. Only 23 hits allowed in 31 innings pitched for Morales.
Infield in for Rosario. Rosario doubled through the wall in right center field his last time up. Hit a fly ball to left his first time up. See, it's made very little difference so far whether he faces righties or lefties. Got a pitch up and fouled it back. 1-1.
Well, Morales has all 4 pitches because he did some starting in the past, but that ball left up and Eddie Rosario just underneath it.
That's what happened in the Santana triple. Santana took a pitch low and then got one up and drove it to the wall in left center for a triple. Twins with a great opportunity to add on a second run. They misfired in that area in the 5th. They'd scored 1 and had a runner at third with 1 out. Didn't get him in. And this one flipped foul back into the seats, and it's 1-2. $18 runs batted in for Rosario.
Picked up an RBI in yesterday's ballgame. It was almost a month in between outings for Rosario to pick up an RBI. Franklin Morales, 29 years old, last year with the Colorado Rockies. Signed a minor league free agent with the Royals over the winter.
Inside, 2-2.
He's a guy that made a lot of starts for the Colorado Rockies. As a free agent, ended up signing a minor league contract. Made the club out of spring training.
And now 3-2 with Sano on deck. Full count to the rookie. Back into the seats. Morales is trying to get the ball down, but he's leaving some pitches up to Rosario. Piece.
Well, you face Young, you know, for a couple at bats, it tops out at probably 86, 87, and all of a sudden here comes Morales throwing at 93, 94, 95.
Popped up, backing out of play again, and the rookie is battling, trying to get the second run of the game in. Ninth pitch of this at bat. 3 two-strike fouls for Rosario. Foul tip. Perez hangs on, 2 down. And now Sano, who has a line out and a strikeout in his last at bat.
Well, Sano struck out in his last at bat against Chris Young. Fouled off a high fastball and took that high fastball a little higher. And there's a slider right there called a strike. Young missed. Ball got away. Another one on a 3-2 pitch. Fouled that one off, and then a little bit higher, that kind of a spinner
And he struck out.
Sano facing his first left-handed batter in the big league, or left-handed pitcher in the big leagues. Strike in the outside corner.
A hard slider right there by Morales for strike one.
Now a ball. Digging around the rubber. Giving up just one home run this year.
Perez sitting inside. Ball missing down
inside,
and
2-1. Three and one. Suzuki on deck. Dangerous pitch for Morales. Facing the powerful Miguel Sano. Fouled back 3-2. Taking a lot of time between pitches, adjusting jewelry, pawing at the mound. Mauer at third with 2 gone. Struck him out. And the Twins leave another runner at third with less than 2 outs. It's still 1-0. Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by McDonald's. Have both for breakfast with the new chorizo burrito from McDonald's. 1-0 Twins. Miguel Sano with a couple of strikeouts with men on base.
Yeah, Rudy Hernandez right there, the assistant hitting coach, talking to Sano. Maybe about that at bat.
Moustakas, Kane, and Hosmer facing Gibson here in the 6th inning.
Moustakas with one of the 3 Kansas City hits. 2 of them have been bunt singles, one of them by Moustakas in the first. That ended an 0 for 14 skid for Moustakas, and then he had a comebacker to the mound in the 4th. Outside corner, inside corner. Kyle Gibson looked very, very sharp tonight. With 2 strikes. Plouffe to the shortstop position, and Escobar swings over to the right side.
And the pitch count has been outstanding for Kyle, too.
Popped up. And Plouffe from the outfield grass calls for it. 1 down.
Let's take a look at another at-bat for Miguel Sano, this time against a lefty, Franklin Morales. Morales starts him off with what looked like a slider, then missed with that running fastball inside. He tried it again. The slider down and in. And the count was in Sano's favor. He got underneath that high pitch. And then swinging through maybe ball 4. And so maybe the aggressiveness is what Rudy Hernandez is talking about right there. Keep that ball in the strike zone.
Here's Kane, and he bunts foul. We've had 3 bunt hits, 2 sacrifice bunts, and now Kane trying to get the 3rd bunt single for the Royals. He's the only Kansas City player to have swung away and gotten a hit against Gibson.
Well, Kane, a guy that, if he can get on, he can create some speed on the base paths. He has the most stolen bases as an everyday player for the Royals with 15. Good slider right there. Good location.
And something to keep in mind, Kane's playing, but he's had a tight hamstring, and that might impact his ability to run in this series. Gibson gets ahead of him 0-2. And in the dirt, blocked by Suzuki. 1-2 to Lorenzo Cain. Line to Plouffe. A staggering catch by the 3rd baseman, 2 down. And that'll bring up Hosmer.
Cain hit this ball right on the button. Didn't take long to get to Trevor Plouffe.
And now Hosmer, a bunt single, and before that in the 2nd inning he went down swinging. Ball 1. Chop foul. Royals coming into this game with a team ERA of about 3.5, and the Twins coming in with a team ERA of just under 4. The difference is in the bullpen.
Oh, yes.
Twins should feel at this point they've got the starting pitching to compete with Kansas City. Not sure there's a bullpen in the American League that can compete with the Royals, though, at this point. 2-1. And a strike on the inside corner.
Oh, we showed you the numbers earlier. When the Royals have the lead after 7 innings since 2014, they are 106-1. So yeah, very strong bullpen.
2-2. Just missed the inside corner. He tried to get strike 3 where he got strike 2.
He's pitching Hosmer the same way that he's trying to pitch Gordon. Ball almost came back. See a little bit of tail on it.
Just missed again. Gibson a little upset. Just missed his spot. It's a 2-out walk, and that'll bring up Morales.
Yeah, 3rd walk for Kyle.
Time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag NorthDataStrongFan, and you might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Hendrys Morales with a fly to left and a ground ball to Mauer. Pulled it on the ground hard. Mauer made a nice play and got the force at second base. 3 walks, 3 hits for the Royals. They loaded the bases in the 4th against Gibson. Low, ball 1. Taking a little stroll around the mound. The on-deck hitter is Gordon, and Gibson's walked him twice. And now Suzuki will come out and plot some strategy.
You know, this is part of the game, too. You don't want to make a mistake inside, especially when you're behind 2-0. And maybe this was Kurt's talking about. You know, he's trying to bust a lot of the left-handed hitters hard in. And Morales, the guy in their lineup that can take you deep. Kurt moves right here. Now outer half of the plate. Get that 2-seamer down. Like that. Good pitch.
2-1.
Morales looking to do one thing right here. He wants something inside that he can hit hard. Changeup just misses low.
3-1.
So you're back to the point that you were 2-0 if you're Kyle Gibson. You almost have to make another good pitch down and away.
Under 300 at bats, only 24 walks, 2 of them intentional. For Morales, he likes to swing the bat. 3-1 to the Royals DH.
And there's that pitch again, down 2-0. He threw a 3-1. Good pitch.
Morales has taken it twice because he can. It was a 2-0 pitch, and he was looking for something to pull and drive, and he didn't get it. And then again on 3-1.
Right. He's got that little bit of open stance anyway.
Full count. Hosmer will take off early. Jam shot, no dribbler. Dozier has to charge, has plenty of time to get Morales. And the Royals leave Hosmer aboard. It's 1-0 Twins through 6.
Del Sano joining the club here today. Got a lot of the attention before the game. Everybody anticipating him doing something well. Well, the first at bat, he hit the ball sharply, but right at Lorenzo Cain, then struck out a couple times. But in the game, As far as the Twins' production, it was off the bat of Danny Santana. Scored Suzuki, who was at third base. That is the only run of the ball game, because for the Twins side, Kyle Gibson has been outstanding. 6 very good innings for Gibson on 80 pitches.
Well, only 1 run on the board, but it was produced by the bottom third of the lineup, and that's an encouraging sign, just because that was one of the major problems for the Twins in the disappointing month of June. Remember, in May, it really didn't seem to matter whether the inning started with the 7th place hitter like it is here in the 7th, or the 3rd place hitter. It was a productive lineup all the way through, and that was not the case in the month of June. Suzuki takes a strike. He led off the 5th with a double and scored on Santana's triple. 0-1. Suzuki, Escobar, and Santana in the Twins 7th. Strike 2. Popped up center field. Hit right at Kane for the first out.
You know, just looking at the numbers of the bullpen, combined 5 and 12 for the Royals, 2.06 ERA, and they have averaged almost a strikeout per inning pitched. And you know what? If they don't watch it, they're actually going to have more strikeouts out of that bullpen than the starters do as a staff. But Luke Hochevar now getting loose.
1 down. Here's Escobar and Santana, of course, both switch hitters. And a strike.
Yeah, Escobar hitting only 200 as a right-handed hitter.
Two strikes. Kind of a rarity for the Royals last night. They lost the series finale in Houston, and the game was tied late. The Astros got a run against that bullpen, and the Astros bullpen made that 1-run lead hold up. 2 strikes. 1-2.
So what you're saying is they are human.
I'm saying there's a chance.
1 in a million?
Well, it's been said forever in this game that a team will go as far as its starting pitching will take them. And in Kansas City, it's different.
It's opposite.
The Royals got through the playoffs, almost won the World Series because of their bullpen, not because of their starters. In fact, in the World Series last year, outside of Madison Bumgarner, who ended up coming out of the bullpen and winning Game 7. The ball shot down the right field line. It's fair. It'll go to the corner. Rios plays the carom, and Escobar has a 1-out double.
Yeah, Rios did a good job of getting that ball before it could kind of hug that wall all the way around, or it may have been a triple for Escobar. But he caught up with one of these fastballs and lined it right down that right field line. So good hitting right there by Escobar, his 12th double of the year. There's 1 out here in the top of the 7th.
Now Santana already has a bunt single and a triple to the gap in left center as a left-handed batter.
Hitting .267 as a right-handed hitter.
Chopper right to Moustakas. 2 down. And that'll leave it up to Dozier, and Ned Yost can't get out of the dugout fast enough. He'll bring in Hochevar to face Dozier with a runner at second and 2 down. And we were talking about the World Series, and I challenge anybody to find a World Series that's ever been played where less was asked of the 2 starting rotations. Outside of Bumgarner, the Giants didn't have very good starting pitching either. Former starter Luke Hochevar will pitch out of the Kansas City pen next. to left center field. It is back. It is gone. Dozier has time, underhands it, and makes the play to end the inning. The blast to left, gone into the second deck. And Brian Dozier hoping for a redemptive at bat here. He's had a couple of frustrating ones on an 0-for-3 night. He'll face Luke Hochevar with a runner at second and 2 down.
Yeah, Luke Hochevar missed all of last year when he had Tommy John surgery. Put into the bullpen this year, making his 17th relief appearance. Started the season on the disabled list, activated on May 7th.
Target is away. Dozier takes strike 1. In the 3rd inning, the Twins had Santana at second with nobody out. And Dozier did not get him to third base, didn't drive him in, obviously. And then in the 5th inning, a runner at third, 1 out. Brian hit a fly ball too short in center field to score the 2nd run. Now a chance to make amends in the 7th. Checked his swing, 1-1.
Hochevar at 6'5", 31 years old. He was a Royals #1 pick, first overall in the 2006 draft out of the University of Tennessee.
To Moustakas. High throw, but Hosmer comes back on the bag. It's 1-0 Twins going to the bottom of the 7th.
Win, they're kind of they don't really mean anything, and everybody in that clubhouse is ready to win again. And you know, for 30 or 33 starts, I just want to go out and give the team a chance to win. If that ends up with a 4.5 ERA or a 3.5, you know, if the team's having a chance to win every time I'm taking the mound, then I'm going to be pretty happy.
Remember last year when there were so many starts that were very, very short, and then the bullpen got overworked, and it was just kind of a mess. Gibson's gone less than 5 innings only once this year, and that was his first start of the year.
Well, you know what? Last year was his first full year, and you know he had the ups and downs, but still won 13 ball games, and it was a big part of the rotation. He has given them every chance he can to stay in this ball game, pitching 6 shutout innings so far. Good
Way out in front of the changeup.
Good changeup to Gordon.
Perez and Rios will follow here in the 7th. Fastball taken for a strike.
Remember the first 2 at-bats, he went in, and he ended up walking them. Now change up, and the ball looked like it was away a little bit, not in as far. Now Suzuki sitting outer half of the plate.
looked foul over the Twins dugout.
So those are the adjustments you make. If you feel strong at the beginning, then you try to bust them in like he did. But now, 1-0 ball game, you just don't want to make a mistake in. So if you're going to go in, you almost have to go way in.
The Twins really in a pull shift now for Gordon in the infield. 0-2. Struck him out. And Suzuki, I think, got hit with Gordon's bat on the follow through and immediately checked to see if he was okay. One down.
Yeah, we're going to do a little pitch by pitch to Morales that ended the last inning, because Morales, a guy that, leading the club with home runs, just missed with that breaking ball. Then he fell behind. Now he threw that pitch right there. Now it's 2-1. Tried another off-speed pitch, missed it, goes back to that pitch. Now Morales, I'm sure, looking away, and that ball just jams Morales. That was good pitching right there.
Chest high hop for Escobar over to Mauer, and Perez is quickly retired. What do you got, Kevin Gord?
Well, guys, had a conversation with Neil Allen, the pitching coach, about the mentality starters have to have right now when the Twins are not producing crooked numbers on a regular basis offensively. And he said there's no doubt it's on your mind, but as a starting pitcher, you cannot think about that. You've got to have your specific game plan in mind. You've got to buy time for your team, and if you do get the lead, you got to make it count. You know right now those runs are not going to be easy to come by, and he loved the template that Trevor May used yesterday. Even though the Twins didn't win that game, he bought time for the offense. Today, Gibson bought enough time, now has the lead, is in position to win. Certainly would love some more runs, but the runs have been hard to come by, and the mentality, guys, cannot change.
Well, thank you, Kevin. Strike one delivered quickly to Alex Rios. And a breaking ball gets a swinging strike two. Taken low, 1-2.
He's got all three pitches working right now. 2-seam, 4-seam fastball. That's one pitch. The slider, and then the changeup.
Wow. Kyle Gibson has been brilliant tonight. Just 3 hits on the board, and 2 of them were bunt singles. It's still 1-0 Twins. We hear so much about the Mike Trouts of the world and people like that, but it's just a much more interesting game when you have great young pitchers like Matt Harvey and Fernandez.
Well, kind of Felix Hernandez, King Felix, too, has been doing it. And that you hope that Fernandez can have the seasons that Hernandez has had for the Seattle Mariners.
Now, Kelvin Herrera will pitch for the Royals to the Twins in the 8th.
Herrera making his 34th relief appearance. Again, a strikeout pitcher, 31 innings pitched, 32 strikeouts, 11 walks, just 1 intentional. He's given up only 20 hits.
Hunter, Mauer, and Plouffe facing Herrera. First pitch left up. Torrey fouled it straight back. Twins got an extra base hit against Hochevar. Morales shut down a threat in the 6th. Hochevar pitched around a threat in the 7th. Twins just 1 for 10 with men in scoring position. The Royals are 0 for 1. Breaking ball to center. Torrey loves those hanging breaking balls.
Now Torrey picking up his first hit for the Twins, their 8th in a ball game. Herrera just kind of trying to get that breaking ball and just stayed up. And Torrey lined it into center. See if we get Torrey to touch home plate here this inning.
Just Hunter's second hit in 9 at bats against Herrera. Mauer is 2 for 4 with a double. Again, we've had 5 bunts in this game. Not in this situation, but we might see another one before the game is over with. 1-0 to Mauer. Joe with 2 singles, a line drive single to center in the 1st, and a sharp ground ball single to right in the 6th. And a strike. Foul.
Herrera doesn't throw many off-speed pitches. Everything is fastball, hard curveball. Not too many changeups.
One and 2. Nobody down the right field line. Not many hitters can pull Herrera, many left-handed batters. And the pitch is up, 2-2. See how much distance there is between Rios and the line. Lifted foul again.
Fastball clock to 98 here. Herrera, 25 years old and already in his 5th season with the Royals. The Dominican Republic, signed with the Royals back in 2006.
Well, we're trying to barrel one up here. Takes outside, 3-2. Plouffe on deck. Have had 4 leadoff hits in their 8 innings. And have scored only in the 5th after Suzuki's leadoff double. Swing and a miss. Second. Joe might have chased. Hunter thrown out easily. 2 down.
Well, Herrera with that overpowering fastball went up the ladder right there. Joe swung through it, and Perez very good at throwing out base runners. an outstanding throw. See Joe swinging through it. And Perez's throw. That's what we saw in Milwaukee from Lucroy. Remember, every throw was on the second base side. So all the infielder had to do was just get it and tag it. Tag the runner.
Well, Plouffe takes a strike at the knees.
So a little strike him out, throw him out for the Royals.
Plouffe with a walk, a ground ball to Infante, and then a sacrifice bunt. Backstop. Mauer had singled, went to second on a wild pitch, and then Trevor, perhaps on his own, just to try to get Mauer to third base, decided to drop down a bunt. Young made the play and then left the ball game. 1-1. And now 1-2. All this talk about Miguel Sano. He got a bonus years ago of $3.1 million. We should mention that today the Twins signed a shortstop, Wander Javier, for $4 million in the international draft.
That Twins very high on this youngster.
1-2. Right field corner. And I thought it interesting, Paul Molitor made a point of telling the media that he called Trevor Plouffe in and said that, hey, with Sano's arrival, he just wanted to remind Trevor Plouffe, you're my guy, you're my third baseman. There might be some opportunities where Sano would play third base on a day when Plouffe would be asked to come over and play first for Joe Mauer. There's a ball driven to left, but right at Gordon. Goes down into a crouch to make the catch. Bottom of the 8th coming up, and it's still 1-0. And Gibson gets ahead of him, strike one. It'll be Infante, Escobar, and Moustakas for the Royals here in the 8th. Strike two with Infante squaring the bunt.
We saw it last inning, all 3 pitches working. That breaking ball, then the changeup. 91 pitches for Kyle, 58 strikes, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts.
One and two. Royals haven't had a hit since Hosmer's bunt single in the 4th. And again, 2 of the 3 hits tonight have been bunt singles. And a solid stroke to center for Infante, and the leadoff man is on in the 8th inning.
Yeah, only the 4th hit off of Kyle Gibson. You know, what he's been able to do now, get into the low 90s, is keep his pitch count down. In the 7th inning, it's the 4th time in a ball game he threw 9 or less pitches in the game. He struck out Gordon, got Perez to hit the short, and then struck out Rios on 3 pitches.
Royals don't have much of a bench, but they do have Gerard Dyson, and he enters the game now as a pinch runner for Omar Infante. A base-stealing threat. And dealing with a little bit of a groin pull, but he got a triple last night and seemed to be just fine.
Dyson at first base, good lead, 8 stolen bases in 9 attempts.
Box tracks presented by Carrier. And a pitch fouled. 1-1.
One thing Kyle does, he does a good job of holding on runners.
Here you'd like to get a ground ball, and even if you only got 1 out, you could take Dyson out of the game. He is a weapon on the bench.
Been only 2 stolen bases off of Gibson this year in 3 attempts. Because of that slide step, he'll look over, he'll pause, hold it a little bit longer from time to time like that, and then throw over.
Dyson's 8 for 9. Kane is 15 for 18. Rest of the team frankly doesn't run that much. Bunted at and missed. It's 2 strikes.
Plouffe was just playing behind the bag on the dirt. Escobar tried to lay a bunt down. Why not? Everybody else has bunted tonight.
18 ground ball double plays for Gibson. And now he's got Escobar on the hole. And again, Escobar's been the guy, the biggest pain in the neck for Gibson on the Kansas City roster. 8 hits and 20 at bats. But 0 for 3 tonight. There goes Dyson. Pitches inside. And the throw not in time. Well, they went on an 0-2 pitch, and Dyson has gotten himself into scoring position.
Well, he just left Cincinnati, where Billy Hamilton stole, what, 6 bases? Dyson right here got a great jump. He really did. Look at that. Look at the jump. By the time Kurt got the ball in his hand, Dyson was 2/3 of the way towards second base. So he steals his 9th base of the year in 10 attempts.
And now Gibson in a situation where he could use a strikeout or a pop-up or a ground ball to the left side. There's the ground ball to the left side. Plouffe looks the runner back, throws low, but Mauer digs it out, 1 away. And again, we saw it in Cincinnati. Just the speed on the bases can change the game in so many ways. Trevor had all day to throw across, but at least part of his brain was thinking about the guy at second base.
Because Dyson had come, maybe about 10, 15 feet off the bag, and you're thinking, okay, I have to hurry my throw because Dyson might, right there, he might take off for third. But a nice pick by Joe over at first.
1 down. Dyson at second. Moustakas the batter. Moustakas broken 0 for 14 with a bunt single. I think Gibson's gotten him twice since.
Yeah, Brian Dozier came in, and we'll see who's going to cover, the bag to try to keep Dyson close to second base.
Fean and Thompson are warmed up. Inside move after Escobar had gone to the base and gone back to short.
It's a good move to show that potential base runner that you have that move.
Got a left-handed batter up there, and Suzuki with a clean shot to third if he does try to go.
The spin around
with somebody on the bag. Nice and a little slow in getting up, and again he's been dealing with a bit of a groin pull.
Well, the way he stole second base, didn't look like there was a groin injury there.
Fastball inside.
It's Escobar, the shortstop, that will try to keep Dyson close.
Didn't even look back, and a check swing foul, 1-1.
Well, again, even with the runner at second base, it's Gibson that uses that slide step. He doesn't go with that high leg kick. This will be pitch number 100 for Kyle.
Moustakas might be the last man he faces, because Cain's hit the ball harder than anybody against Gibson tonight. Well, we heard the boos in Milwaukee when the Brewers had Carlos Gomez on the bases, and the Twins paid a lot of attention to him. One and one. Just missed the inside corner, and Gibson claps his hands together, slapping his throwing hand into the glove. Thought he hit the corner.
Trying to stay inside. Suzuki goes in there, and that ball, you can see it come back just a bit, but a bit inside.
2-1. Foul ball.
Good change up there. Most pitches Gibson has thrown in a ball game, 117. That came against the Royals in Minnesota back on June 10th, but that was in 6 innings.
That was the game where he gave up 4 runs in the first and then an unearned run later. So coming into this inning now, Gibson's thrown 12 straight innings against the Royals without giving up an earned run. 2-2 to Moustakas. Full count, Cain on deck.
Remember earlier this year, Gibson had that streak of 20 shutout innings consecutive against the White Sox, the Athletics, and the Tigers.
Full count to Mike Moustakas. Missed inside. And a walk feels first base. And now Cain.
He kept missing inside, trying to get that corner. Does not get the call. So 4th walk for Gibson.
Cain bounced into an inning-ending double play in the first, and since then has hit the ball hard twice against Gibson. Not the manager, but the pitching coach coming out, so Gibson will have a chance here. Seen a number of times here in the recent weeks where a little bit more has been expected of the starting pitchers. Some of that's because the bullpen has had some issues.
Well, you also want Gibson to, win it or lose it himself. That's the way that I was brought up. You're out there, you're battling. You don't want somebody else to maybe pick you up, and if it doesn't work out, boy, you just feel bad. You'd rather be out there and either win the game or lose the game.
Cain with the double play grounder, then he hooked a sharp single to left in the 4th, and then in a wicked line drive to Plouffe for an out in the 6th.
There really hasn't been, other than maybe the 4th inning, an inning out in distress.
There's plenty of it here in the 8th.
Yes, there is.
First and second, only one out.
One good hard double play or ground ball might take care of this inning. He did it in the first. Kane hit into a double play.
Fouled away. Other than the 2 hits, there's only been 3 balls hit to the outfield. So Gibson to this point has done a good job keeping the infield busy. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Trying to find what's left in the tank. Good fastball down in the strike zone at 93.
He swung right over the top of that sinker.
What creates that is that good arm angle. Ball came straight down to Suzuki's glove.
He may have gotten a break. He made contact with that ball. The only thing he could have done is hit it into the ground. 0-2 to Lorenzo Cain. Mason dives back again. This time it's Dozier trying to keep him close. Two strikes to Cain. Missed inside.
Well, that's almost the pitch in the first inning that Cain hit right back up the middle and ended up hitting into that 4 unassisted 3 double play. And Dozier was standing right about there in the first.
Laid off a slider off the plate, 2-2. Cain with a strikeout about once every 5 at bats this year. Manager and the pitching coach letting it ride with Kyle Gibson here in the 8th. Struck him out, 2 down.
Good fastball down and away on the black. Strikeout number 7. Well, against Cain, of course, very dangerous hitter. He got a good swing right there, but fouled it off and then went after that pitch down. And then Kyle tried to say, okay, will you swing at that? Will you swing at my slider? No. You'll have an ugly swing at this one right here, down and away. That completely fooled him.
Twins letting it ride in the Cain at bat, and for the Hosmer at bat. Hosmer a bunt single, a walk, and a strikeout. Strike 1 on a changeup.
Tell you what outings like this just make a young pitcher, and Kyle still a young pitcher, 57 major league starts. Makes you want it to go deep into a ball game more often. This is what pitching's all about. The challenge of trying to get some outs late in the ball game.
1-1.
Finding what's left in that tank and utilizing it to your benefit. So many pitchers want to come out in these situations late in the game. It's good for Kyle Gibson to try to work through it.
2-1.
And Suzuki's going to run the ball out to him. Go over maybe this pitch right here. Last couple of pitches trying to be maybe a little bit too fine down and in.
2-1 to Eric Hosmer. Got the inside corner with a fastball. In the 8th, 112 pitches into his night, and he's still throwing at 93. With movement.
Yep. And he didn't blow up at 100. Unbelievable.
2-2 to Hosmer. Chop foul.
Two other times this year, Gibson has pitched 8 innings. One against the White Sox, and the other one in Chicago against the White Sox. Trying to finish 8 innings here of shutout baseball.
Another 2-2 to Hosmer. Grounded to the right side. Dozier has it to Mauer. 8 brilliant innings for Kyle Gibson. 8 shutout innings for Kyle Gibson. Got into a little trouble in the 8th inning, and he handled it awfully well.
Yeah, he did. And yeah, Bill's character. I just saw pitching coach Neil Allen go there and rub his head like, good job. I knew you could do it. I'm getting to like Neil Allen more and more. Go deep into the ball game, starters. And Gibson, you know what? You find what's inside right there. He battled. He battled against Moustakas, missed a couple pitches. Suzuki had a little conversation with him. They came back in with that fastball. He fouled off a changeup right there. And then a pitch, almost left right there. But you know what? Good hitters get themselves out. And that happened right there for Kyle Gibson. 114 pitches in the 8 shutout innings, 71 strikes.
You know, if you're the pitching coach or the manager, you're looking at, of course, everybody's aware of the pitch count, but you're looking at the stuff that the man has left. There's Rosario outside.
You're also looking at his actions on the mound, too. Is he looking in? Is he looking in the bullpen? No, Gibson was focused in on looking at the glove.
And he was still throwing 93 and hitting corners, too.
Right.
Here's Rosario taking ball 1 from the closer, Greg Holland. Royals ended up getting swept in Houston, and so Holland didn't get a chance to pitch, so he'll pitch with the Royals behind by a run. Look at the opponent batting average, 134.
He's what you call nasty.
Two and one. It'll be Rosario, a rookie, Sano in his first major league game, and then Suzuki.
It's not your typical windup that Holland has. I mean, he flies open, but that arm, he gets on top of it. He has an outstanding fastball. And the pitch that drops straight down, that's his breaking ball, not a split finger. It's not a fork ball.
That one right there looked like it dropped down.
Right. That's his slider, what he calls. Everybody thought, oh, you throw a fork ball or splitter. So, no, that's my slider.
He must be a pretty good poker player, because I heard him in an interview say, you know what, I'll let them just think it's a splitter. I don't throw it. But if they think it's a splitter, then good for me.
So, yeah, so be it.
2-2. And Holland acrobatically knocked it down and then picked it up and threw it off balance to Hosmer, one away.
I think that hit his shoe.
One down, and that'll bring up Sano with the bases empty. Byron Buxton, the #1 prospect in all of baseball. Already's made his debut. So has now Sano. Meyer. Jose Barrios promoted to AAA. So he's potentially ready to be called up, or would be at some point this year.
If not this year, in the years to come, I tell you, he's got good stuff.
Here is Sano, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Hit the ball hard his first time up, lining out to Kane in center. Strike 1. Lower breaking ball, missing 1-1.
Yeah, that was like a changeup. That was at 77.
While the Twins are hitting here in the 9th, Glenn Perkins is warming up. There's a chopper. And Moustakas, bare hand, throws, and Sano reaches. His first big league hit is an infield hit, and Sano just turned. You can do that. You can turn and go back to first base the way he did. You don't necessarily have to turn to foul territory, but you can't shift your body weight toward the next base.
Yeah, they're throwing the ball back toward the dugout, and kind of a swinging bunt. Moustakas comes in. He was playing a deep third base. The ball got away from Hosmer, but Sano did beat it out. So congratulations, Miguel Sano, on your first major league hit. Yes. One of many.
Get the ball, he says. Sano says, I don't want that. I only hit it 60 feet. Shane Robinson will run.
Yeah, high fives all around for Miguel Sano.
Robinson got hit in the left tricep area. This was dealing with the flu or food poisoning, something in Cincinnati that put him on the shelf. All Molitor are warned that Robinson might not be available to hit today, but would be able to go in for defense, or in this case, pinch run. Doesn't have Gerard Dyson's speed, but he is perhaps the fastest, certainly the fastest guy on the bench.
Yeah, 4 stolen bases in 5 attempts. Like to get in the scoring position.
On the first pitch, and Suzuki takes a strike. Twins have done so little with good scoring opportunities. This isn't anything more than an infield hit with 1 out, but maybe they can cash in here and give Glenn Perkins an extra run to work with. The bunt. 6th bunt of the night, and Suzuki bunted it right back to Holland, out number 2, no sacrifice, but Robinson does go to second. The 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup final is here. It's a rematch, 4 years in the making. Alex Morgan and Team USA taking on defending champion Japan to see who will be crowned the champion. Coverage begins Sunday at 4 p.m. Central, only on your local Fox station. Streaming live on Fox Sports Go. It's a full Sunday of sports action. We've got Twins and Royals at 12:30 with a pregame show here on Fox Sports North. Then the World Cup at 4 on Fox.
Go USA.
Now Escobar trying to get a 2-out hit with Robinson at second. Popped up, it's backing out of play. Our trivia question tonight brought to you by carsoup.com. I believe it was 1985, was it not?
Yep.
They won the old American League West and went on to win the World Series.
Yes, they did.
Finally got by the Yankees.
Beat the Cardinals.
Actually got by the Yankees in 1980 when they lost to the Phillies. Beat the Blue Jays in 1985. One strike to Escobar. Jacked his swing. And it's 1-1.
Yeah, nice stop by Perez.
Well, let's try to figure out why these Royals relievers are so good. Holland, in 20 innings, has given up 1 home run, an opponent batting average of 134. Wade Davis, in 34 innings, has given up no home runs and an opponent batting average of 138. Robinson to third, and the ball hit to right center field, down for a hit. A huge run for the Twins. Robinson scores, and Escobar wants third base. A triple, and the Royals bullpen has actually given up a run here in the 9th inning.
Well, it looked like a fastball right there, and Escobar with Robinson taking off. Hit it in the gap. Second triple in the ball game for the Twins, and they both created runs. Santana's triple in the 5th. Here, fastball right there. And Escobar, good swing. Hits it in the gap in right center. Well, the Twins take a 2-0 lead. And Escobar, with his 3rd triple of the year, driving in his 29th run.
And now Santana. Swing and a miss.
So there's a little insurance right there, Glenn Perkins.
Santana chops it foul, 2 strikes. Now, all the opportunities the Twins have had to score a second run, and it took maybe the strongest man on the team to get a 60-foot infield hit with 1 out, and then the Twins finally get a clutch hit with 2 outs. And Santana strikes out. That'll end the inning. A big triple by Eduardo Escobar, and it will be a 2-0 lead for Glenn Perkins as he tries to pick up his 26th save in 26 opportunities. 83 days, over 1,400 innings played. You don't remember every pitch, every out, or even every hit. In baseball, you don't even remember games. You remember moments. Tonight in Kansas City, Twins fans are hoping these moments become everlasting memories. Indirectly, Miguel Sano's first major league hit gave the Twins an extra run in the ninth inning. Glenn Perkins will face Kendrys Morales, Alex Gordon, and Salvador Perez with a 2-run lead.
Oh, you mentioned, Glenn Perkins trying to pick up his 26th save and 26 save opportunities, making his 34th start of the year. Perk 32 in the third innings. He's struck out 29, only 5 walks. He's given up only a couple home runs. 26 hits in the 32 in the third innings.
1-1.
The Twins looking for their third win of this road trip, and Perk picked up the save in Milwaukee when the Twins won 5-2, and then on Tuesday in Cincinnati, the 8-5 win, he picked up his 25th save.
Bounced foul, 1-2, and Morales will get a new stick. $37,196 the paid attendance tonight. Another good crowd expected tomorrow. CenturyLink, what's next? Tommy Malone will go against Jeremy Guthrie.
Yeah, Malone's pitched very well since being recalled from Rochester. 2-0 in 5 starts. And Guthrie's been in and out as far as the type of outings he's had.
Perkins strikes out Morales, 1 down. And now Alex Gordon.
Well, Perk, like he does so well, he gets ahead with a fastball, then that nasty slider down and in. And Morales swings through it.
Gordon hasn't put a ball in play tonight. He's walked twice and struck out once. Just outside, ball 1. And it's the second time now that Gordon has hit Suzuki with his follow-through. Remember, Adam Jones in a spring training game did that 3 times in one game to Josmil Pinto. And Pinto unable to start the season for the Twins in part because of the concussion that he suffered.
Yeah, sometimes as a catcher, I'm sure Kurt's moving back just a little bit where he normally sits.
When Gordon struck out in the 7th, it was a swinging strikeout, and he caught Suzuki with that swing. 2-1. To the right side, Dozier with a nice play, goes into the slide, throws Gordon out, 2 down. And that'll leave it to Salvador Perez. It's about as close to perfection as you can ask. Perkins has given up a few runs, a couple of home runs in fact, but when it's mattered, when he's been on the mound doing what he's supposed to be doing, he has been perfect.
He has been lights out. Yep. Save opportunities coming in, a .7 earned run average. Only 2 earned runs allowed in 25 2/3 innings, compared to the non-save opportunities in ERA right around 4.
1 strike to Perez. Twins lost a tough ball game yesterday in Cincinnati, 2-1. Now the top 2 teams in the Central Division in a series opener, and it's 2-0. Squibbed, and Perkins has plenty of time to get the save, and the Twins win the opener in Kansas City.
What a job by Kyle Gibson. Perkins, Miguel Sano with his first major league hit. Good ball game for the Twins.
Anthony LaPanta 2-1 yesterday in Cincinnati, 2-0 tonight. The Twins are turning back the clock to 1968.